Alright, welcome back for round 2. We had a good game first round. Back in. For those who didn't see the deck originally, this is what we've got going on. Bit of red-white allies. Nice little curve here with Resolute Blademaster and Angelic Captain on top. A few little pieces here as well. Rolling Thunder for some nice removal. It's been going pretty well. Let's get back over to our main screen here. We've got a few opponents here. Having a quick look, most of them took time to win the games. The two games here are 7 to 10 minutes. And Hand of Chaos was in 13 to 12 minutes. So we're probably the only real aggro deck in the top 4. So our game's 16 and 8. Alright, so winning the die roll again, so we will play first. Oh dear. This is a tricky keep. Now, no red mana, which is frustrating, but we do have a 2-drop and a 3-drop with 2 lands. We definitely need to hit a red source at some point. But I'm encouraged by the fact that I can hit the 2, and if I hit a land in my first 2 draws, we get our 3 and move along. I'm going to keep. I'm pretty brave with my keeps usually. So we're going to run it out. Start off with the bridge. Alright, we haven't got there yet. Get our Castigator down. One more draw to see a mana. So we've got a blue-green deck. Thinking Coral Helm guy. Snapping Gnarlet would be annoying. No 2-drop is comforting. Looming Spire is not exactly the land I wanted, but I will take it.
Join a 30-year legacy at the Australasian College of Natural Therapies, a leader in complementary health education.
It means we get in for 4 this turn.
Visit the on-site Think Wellbeing Centre.
Depending what we draw next, we can
and learn about the wealth of career options.
follow it up with a Shadow Glider
Register today at
or an Ondu Champion.
A part of
Ondu
Think
Great.
Education, RTO 0269.
So I'm going to hold on to the Valakut Invoker and the Fire Mental Mage. For now, they're more, later on they have more value. Be one of these 3 cards as our next play, depending on our draw. Alright, so we don't get to swing in again. And our opponent is going to follow up with Sylvan Scrying. So Sanctum of Ugin is an interesting choice to get for a Sylvan Scrying. It means they're going big. We're up against the blue-green ramp deck. And that means I want to get them dead now. As fast as I can, we need to get everything in play and smash them. Because they're going to be looking for big things. A Giant Mantis is about the best card they could be dropping on me right now. So what I really want to do is curve some Menace at the moment. Not drawing lands is a little bit frustrating. Menace means our opponent can't block. So we're going to get our Fire Mental Mage down and just prevent as much blocking as possible. If my opponent doesn't follow up with another creature, they're going to have trouble. So, ideally what we're going to see here is no creature from my opponent, which seems unlikely with 5 mana and 5 cards in hand. And I'll bring down Ondu Champion with a mountain off the top of the library. Now, if we don't see a mountain off the top, then I just don't really have any attacks. And that's going to hurt. So unfortunately our lack of mana is punishing us here. We can't get in. And until we get that giant speed bump out of the way, we're not going to be able to do very much. So we know our opponent still has Sanctum of Ugin, and they're up to 6 lands. So I suspect his line is going to be play the Sanctum, follow it up with a 7 mana play, and then he gets to immediately use Sanctum of Ugin. Alright, we finally found a mountain. A little bit late. We're going to have to just get as many things in play as possible. The question is, which 4-drop is the best? Ondu Greathorns are most likely to get through next turn, so we're going to get that one down. Because if I have a land, I can get that in. So what we're looking for here is just to go as wide as possible, get a lot of creatures into play, and then draw Resolute Blademaster for some double strike destruction. And once I've gone as wide as possible, Ondu Rising starts to be a real threat. The Rune Processor is going to cause a lot of problems. Breaker of Armies to hand. So he needs 2 mana. Fortunately, he needs 2 mana to get Breaker of Armies down, but I just don't see how we're going to have the opportunity to get through. Alright, so Greathorn can no longer get through. We need to get as much power into play and try and bring down the Rune Processor. We're in a really tough spot here. I'm not gonna lie. There's just not a lot of ways in which we don't get thoroughly ruined. As long as he doesn't draw a lot more lands, Breaker Armies won't come down for a couple of turns. So he needs 2 more mana in order to get that Breaker in and causing issues. That gives me a little bit of time to set up and prepare for it. I basically want to have exactly 8 power in play when Breaker of Armies comes down. So he's not willing to trade off some creatures, which is good because it means I don't have to think about whether I'm willing to trade off creatures. Getting up to 8 for a Valakut Invoker is an important step for me. So I'm going to get my lands down instead of hold them for landfall. I want to see if he's willing to trade off the Skyrider elf. So we'll play a Vestige. And just keep trying to get as wide as possible. This gives me another creature to block out the rune processor with. Just 7. A Plated Crusher, Jesus. The fact that he's not coming in is interesting. That's an interesting draw. The problem I'm having at the moment is I can't go on the offensive. If I go on the attack, he ends me. I just good blocks. Next turn, Breaker of Armies could come down if he has a land. Alright. I've got to keep on the go wide plan, I think. Just I want to have as many creatures in play so that at some point I will be able to Blade Master and Ondu Rising the same turn. And hopefully he will send in an attack. Yeah, Anthony's got the idea here. I've got to set up a big life swing where he feels confident enough to play Breaker of Armies, send in his Giant Eldrazi and his creatures. I just have to hope my opponent goes for a swing and lets me swing back harder with lifelink. The alternative is the longer he takes to do something, the longer we have this staring match, the better chance I have of stealing something with an turn against. If I get a turn against, it's going to do some serious work. Undergrowth Champion is... because he's getting as wide as me. Alright. I think, is that 8? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're still one short of Valakut Invoker. Would have been nice to hit that 8 on Valakut Invoker. We're going to see Breaker of Armies come down. And if he does not attack, that's going to more or less end the game. He's just holding me out here. I mean, he just has to wait again, doesn't he? Because he doesn't go for the attack. Fingers crossed, turn against on the top of the library. Show me the money. Not a turn against. Rolling Thunder's not the worst draw. Jeez, what do I have? So I've got 7 lands, which means I can deal 6 damage. God. His problem here is he comes in with 10 and just rips my board apart on the Breaker of Armies. He gets through 2, 3, 10, 12, 14, 21. So if I do nothing, he attacks all out, Breaker of Armies, forces me to block over there. And I take 21 and die. So my options are go for the big life swing now, try and kill some stuff. Rolling Thunder, and then go for the Blade Master Ondu Rising the following turn, and hope that I still have enough of my board left after Breaker destroys it. Now I can Rolling Thunder for 5. 2, 3, 5. So I can take out an Elf, a Mist Intruder, and an Undergrowth Champion. I can take out these 2, and see what the attack looks like. And just deal 1 to him. Alright, so I think the only way to go is Rolling Thunder. I want to hit here, 2, here for 2, and 1 here. Alright. So I just need to now see how much he leaves me, and hope that I have enough to double strike him to death. But I'm taking 14, 16, 17 at this point. The worst part is he had no ramp. This is all naturally played mana through to the late turns. I have nothing to do, so we'll just F6. I mean, my best option here for him is to just swing as much as he possibly can, hit me for 17 and do a lot of damage. Okay, is that enough? What did I count out last time? 17, so that's lethal. Everything blocks here. I think it's lethal. I think it's just 21 damage with that Earthen Arms. Fourteen, 15, 16, 17, 21. Yes, I'm just dead. But I'll let him assume the damage. Alright. Who plays Earthen Arms, for God's sake? Oh dear. As far as sideboard is concerned, I don't see Volcanic Upheaval being worth to kill that Sanctum of Ugin. Yeah, it helps him get a guy, but we just have to be faster. Warpaint to hit harder faster. Is that even an option? I don't know. Turn Against is going to be sick on him if I can get it, but we're just looking for a curve. The other one is Lithomancer's Focus is actually going to be quite good here. I can set up some blocks and then Lithomancer's Focus the front runner to prevent him from killing half of my team. I really don't see any way of doing this other than run it back. As I said before, there was no ramp in his deck. Yeah, it's an easy mulligan. There was no ramp in his deck, which means we're going to keep, and the mountain can stay on top of the library. So I just have to be faster. No turn 2 play is good. Alright. Get the Sandstone Bridge in. Attack for 4. Unfortunately, I can't Griffin and have the white to put a counter on. But that's not going to stop me putting my flyer. Retreat Kazandu. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but there was a flicker of Oran Reef Invoker as that card came into play. I don't know if that means anything, but it was definitely there. And get a Griffin down.
Jumping on your bike for a ride. Plus, watering the garden.
So he's going to be able to gain some life.
For brunch. Plus, it somehow turns into lunch. Plus, wandering around that little market. Plus, hanging out the washing. Plus, taking the dog for a walk. Plus, how many times today will you be exposed to UV? Know when to protect yourself.
And we really don't want to see
UV.
giant mantis. And
It all
there it
adds
is. Alright, so we need to land off the top to get Angelic Captain. And we get it. Now he has an easy block on the slider here if I were to attack with both, so that's not likely to happen. We'll get the captain down and just try and get some more pressure on. What I'd like to see here is a land off the top again. A bit weird, but a land off the top gives me Ondu Rising with Awaken and attack in for 8 lifelink. 10 lifelink with the Courier Griffin, because putting the counter on to prevent all of that from happening. So yeah, we're down to draw removal. And our opponent just has the nuts. Yeah, it looks like we're just getting destroyed here. Stone Fury is the card I want. It's not a Stone Fury. And now even the 4/4 Awaken can't get through, so I just need to send it back. So I need to get a Stone Fury before that gets too big. Again, this giant mantis is just a complete roadblock for me. I can't get through it. And every time he plays a land, the mantis gets one step bigger. And we've just got the combo now, the Sanctum of Ugin. Plays a 7 drop, and that's, as far as I know, going to be game over. It's a bit of a disappointing round. The blue-green ramp deck just having all of the answers and us not finding ours. See you later, Anthony. Hopefully we can pull it back together on round 3. I mean, we're now actually beyond the point of Stone Fury helping. Again, my best hope is that he, for whatever reason, decides to go on the offensive, allowing me to start making a race happen. It's back up to 7 mana, which means the breaker of the armies can come down next turn. I imagine this is just the Plated Crusher again to crush my hopes and dreams. Nope, I'm going to get some Awakening, make some giant guys, and come in. So, as I said, the only thing that will help me here is if he gets unreasonably aggressive, and that doesn't seem to be happening. 6, 8. We'll get the man down. Doesn't really matter at this point. So yeah, let's hope against hope that he doesn't go for the full 22 swing out of nowhere. I'd like to see him just come in and smash. break of armies coming down to prevent me from doing anything useful. And, I mean, he's got 14, 19 damage in play at the moment. Alright. So, let's assume he plays a land. He has 20 damage. Breaker comes in with 10 hits. I've only got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 toughness. So Breaker wipes my board, and I take 20, going to 2. So I believe the only line left to me is to play Looming Spires. Give Kindy Slide Runner first strike. I'm going to cast Onju Rising with Awaken. Now, I think each creature dealing damage, being a separate instant of lifelink, gives me multiple Serene Steward triggers. Which means I can, after first strike damage happens, I can pump up my creatures depending on where they've assigned the blockers. Now, the swing back is going to be roughly 30 damage. I'm going to be gaining 4, 8, 10, 12. This keeps me alive. I don't think it gets me through. My question is, do I leave 2 white up or 1 white up? Just going to send it all in. So the other option was to keep the Sandstone Bridge back so that I can have another trigger. Okay. So first strike damage happens. It is 2 separate triggers, which is good to know. I want to pump here. I need to put all these triggers on even though I can't actually use them. I mean, this is the only way I survive a turn, and I still don't have a good out. We play it out. I try to avoid conceding as much as possible, because there's occasionally lines that you just don't think of. I don't think Vestige of Emrakul is one of those, but let's get him to kill me. Rah! Send a message. Alright. So we'll just leave it over to our opponent now to kill us. I mean, I could... Encircling Fissure, now that I think about it, Encircling Fissure would have been a way to survive. And I'm on negative 23. Anyway. So that's round 2. It looks like we were the last ones going. So we're going to roll straight into round 3. I am going to drop the stream again just so that we can break up the video. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes.